the shit I'm putting out, then you can blow me. These dollars in my pocket getting big, I gotta fold it. It's cheesy in the building, more cheese than macaroni. What the fuck is going on? I'm in her bush before I eat, I make her mow the lawn. My career is like award shows, it's going long.
There's the gobble, and here we are. This is the Technical Fowl Show. I'm Jonathan Silvata, and we have a guest host. Raj couldn't be here today for his own, whatever. So this is.
I'm Kabir Sodi.
Okay, Kabir, and today we're going to do the Western Division. However, our producer Allie.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey. Okay. So today we're going to do the Northwestern Division. But before we get into that, I want to talk a little bit about the show that I think everyone else was watching this weekend. Did you watch it? I watched it. It was good.
I saw it.
The final of Breaking Bad. I just wanted to. I know this is a basketball show. I know it's a basketball show, but I figured it is the off season, and I feel like people might actually want to know more about this than say how the Atlanta Hawks are going to do in the playoffs this year.
Timberwolves.
Or the Timberwolves. We have difference of opinion there. So anyway, I don't know. I just want to talk about it. If you haven't seen the finale, please skip forward to maybe the second segment. So let's just talk about it a little bit. Obviously, turn it off now if you don't want to know spoilers. Turn it off? Okay. Walt dies.
Walt dies.
And obviously, okay, listen, so he had cancer in the first episode or whatever.
Yeah.
Second episode, or I don't really remember when it happened. So he was going to have, the show had an expiration date.
Yeah.
I think everyone thought he was going to die.
Yeah.
It only came down to who else was going to die with him. I predicted on Twitter earlier, I said that Jesse was going to kill Todd, which happened.
Yeah.
I said that Walt was going to kill the Nazis.
Yeah.
And then I said that Walt was going to take the ricin for himself.
Yeah.
Which didn't happen. He gave the ricin to Lydia. Look, I'm not going to break down the plot. I just want to know, what did you think? Were you fulfilled? I know I didn't watch it live, but I'm pretty sure that Twitter was kind of a little bit not unhappy, but they thought the finale wasn't quite as good as the rest of the episodes in the season. So, what do you think?
I mean, I think the whole thing was geared towards the fact that Walt was going to take the ricin himself. It was kind of working its way towards that.
Because he had nothing to live for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he tells Skylar, he's like, look, this is the last time you're going to see me.
Yeah.
The cops are not going to be taking me into custody.
Right.
So that was established. But just the fact that the show was geared towards him taking the ricin, the way Vince Gilligan works is whatever you think is going to happen is not going to happen.
Yeah.
So
like a counter,
exactly.
Like the whole ricin thing, he wanted people to like predict what was going to happen.
Yeah, and he let it linger for so long.
Yeah.
I mean, people were making predictions. I don't think anyone really thought Lydia. Like, why Lydia?
No, yeah.
Why Lydia?
But it makes sense because he had to tie up all the loose ends.
Exactly. In only a way that we couldn't predict.
Yeah.
So
I liked. Okay, so this is a little bit more of the technical side, but for a while, I just really liked how Walt was like a ghost.
Yeah.
Like the scene where he's in the Schwartz's house, and like it takes him forever to find out he's there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you thought that he actually had hitmen with him, but I knew it wasn't him. It was just another Waltz, like behind the scenes. I'm not really doing what it looks like I'm doing. And then when he was with like the kid, he was like hiding behind the house when Walt Jr. was going back in. And then
in the shop.
In the coffee shop, I didn't even. Did you see him before?
I saw him, like right as he was about to walk over,
Yeah.
but you were,
It was scary. Yeah, it was good. And then just the scene. My favorite scene was when he goes in there and he's in the kitchen with Skylar, and you can't see that he's there.
Yeah.
And then actually the funny thing is, I was actually looking at that beam. I was like, architecturally, that seems like an odd place to have a beam. But yeah, and then like he was hiding there.
Yeah, but you knew he had to be there. I mean, it's the way she was talking. Skylar knows what's up. She's not an idiot. She knows exactly what's going on at that point.
And it didn't tie up all the loose ends. Like what happens to Skylar afterwards? How does Walt Jr. actually get the money? And we really didn't get to one of those. I don't know if you read those recaps. I've started reading them this season, just because I watched it all over the summer. By the way, look, I'm not gonna say like this is the best show ever, because I don't watch enough television to know that.
But it's kind of the best show.
But yeah, I mean, like I think first of all, I think Seinfeld's probably the best show ever.
Best sitcom ever.
Best sitcom,
Well, let's
yeah.
go best
It's
sitcom.
comedy drama, not
Yeah,
exactly the same
it's
feel.
separate, yeah.
But I just think that this show is going to hold up really well. I don't know if somebody's going to syndicate it. It could be syndicated easily. I mean, there's no nudity, there's no curse words really. There's really.
That's something.
But I just thought when I watched it, I didn't watch it from the beginning. I watched it this past summer, and it just everything. What I liked so much about it was everything fit together.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't show you anything you don't need to see.
I feel like the only real loose end, this is on Talking Bad, if you ever
Yeah,
afterwards they have this Talking Bad. And
Yeah.
Vince was like, the one thing that they wanted to do was not leave any open-ended, like not leave it open-ended at the end, like The Sopranos or whatever.
Yeah.
It was a very finite ending. Like you talked about Skylar and the kids, but you got to think that Walt's scared, Gretchen and enough to get them to give. Yeah, all right. To get them the money, but other than that, I feel like everything was brought together very nicely. You know, you knew everything had to come together because it was the finale, and it was so hyped up.
Oh, and the finale's name is Felina, right? Did you recognize?
It's an anagram.
It's this. No, it is an anagram, but the song Felina. It was. I don't know if you saw when he's going through that car in the frost, and he opens the thing in the glove compartment, and the cassette comes out, and the song's actually playing. Felina's apparently. I didn't know this. I got this from a recap. It's the name of a song about this cowboy who falls in love with this woman, and she's with another guy, and he kills the other guy, and then he becomes an outlaw, and then the cowboys come and get him, and they kill him, and he dies in her arms. Because but the whole thing was he was really proud of his, of what he did. Just like what happens with Walt when he goes back into the cook place, the kitchen, and he's like looking at the.
He dies in his happy place.
I like that. Really, I did like him dying as a scientist, him dying, air chemist or whatever he was, him dying in the chemistry lab. I thought that was like the best place for him to go. And we think Jesse makes it out, although honestly he's probably gonna get picked up by the cops driving at that speed.
Yeah,
but
he'll get a ticket or whatever.
Yeah, and he'll probably take care of Brock or whatever. Yeah. We don't really know, but yeah, I thought as for me personally, I got a lot of closure out of it. It wasn't quite as the heart racing of all the other episodes, but definitely a great ending. It gave me everything that I wanted, and it stayed true to what it was, I thought. So. Anything else? If not, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, we're gonna talk about the Northwest Division. I've got a paper here, and it's going to tell me some stuff, so stick around, and we'll be back. Welcome back. So we're gonna start off because what everyone wants to talk about is the Oklahoma City Thunder, and obviously, I don't know if you've known, but Russell Westbrook had knee surgery yesterday. He's at 4 to 6 weeks, which I think puts him back. Let's see, the season starts in a month, so he'll be out like 2 weeks out of the first.
Yeah, they're saying he's going to miss about like 12 to 21 games is what they're expecting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's more than what I thought.
Yeah, it's a quarter of the season.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so this is a great stat. I didn't come up with this. I think it was John Schumann, or maybe Tom Havisher, I don't know, over on Twitter. They said that 6% of Kevin Durant's minutes last season came without Russell Westbrook or Kevin Martin. Now, what does that mean? That means that while he is probably the greatest scorer in the game right now, he usually isn't on the floor by himself in a way that, like, you can put LeBron out there with scrap, and he'll still make them better players.
Yeah. And you saw flashes of that in the playoffs. You know, he had to play naturally without Westbrook.
Yeah.
Martin wouldn't be on the floor, and he had to take on that passing role, which
isn't his game.
It's not his game. He tried to adjust to it. He didn't do a terrible job, but he didn't do the job he needed to.
Look, if I'm Kevin Durant and I'm not playing with Russell Westbrook, here's what I'm doing. I'm gonna try to put up 40. Because it's not the playoffs. You can do 40 a game for 2 weeks, and not exactly 40, but score in the high 30s to mid to high 30s a game, because it's not the same. You're not going to be playing against the same defenses. It's going to be harder for them to prepare for you. And I just think that he shouldn't change his game, because I don't think that he has that in him. I mean, he's the greatest. I think he's probably the greatest scorer playing right now, and he should try to play a little more like that.
Hands down the most efficient. Yeah,
and I mean, he didn't do the post so much, which maybe he's going to do a little more of that later. He didn't have to wait for it.
Yeah, I mean, he also got doubled every time he tried.
Yeah, that's true.
Every time he touched the ball.
I don't think you can do that in the regular season, unless it's like at the end of the game. If it's a close game, they could do it. But interesting. Other than they have Reggie Jackson, right?
Mm-hmm.
But is he more of a point guard? We don't really know what he does.
He's kind of a
combo guard.
At this point, in the playoffs they wanted him to just you can't really take over a Westbrook role, but he was scoring as much as he could. He couldn't distribute the ball like Westbrook.
Right.
Ibaka kind of suffered as a result of that because...
Well, I don't know if Ibaka suffered or we just saw that Ibaka is really not an offensive player.
I'd like to think that Ibaka suffered because he didn't have Westbrook.
Yeah.
He didn't have... Westbrook, when he goes in, they have to collapse.
They collapse.
On Reggie
Although,
Jackson,
to be fair, when Russell Westbrook isn't really passing the ball when they collapse.
Yeah, but at least, maybe he chucks up a...
Bad, yeah, he draws the defenders and he can grab the rebound or whatever.
Tip dunks, we're all waiting for that.
I'm just here. Look, I'm not a huge fan of Serge Ibaka just because, personally, I think he's a big mouth and he doesn't really have the game to back it up. He said multiple times. I mean, look, Steven Jackson came at him one time. We don't really know what happened there, but he did.
Yeah.
And then
Steven Jackson's
a little insane.
We'll talk about that.
But he said LeBron's not a good defensive player, which if you've ever seen LeBron James play defense, he's probably the best perimeter defender in the game when he wants to be. So I mean, it might have just been posturing by Serge Ibaka, but anyway, we got anything else on Oklahoma City because we're gonna have to move on. We got other teams.
Let's talk about the Nuggets.
We can talk about the Nuggets. Oh wait, do you think we're gonna ask this? Do you think Oklahoma City makes the playoffs? Yes,
they make the playoffs. I didn't think that was even a question.
Well, no, I know, but I just felt we should address that.
Okay.
Also, do they have a top 4 seed? Do they have home court advantage?
They're not. Let's just drop the idea that they're going to make 1 and 2. I'd say 4, 5 is possible.
Yeah, I would try to get 4, obviously.
4, obviously, but 5 is doable. I mean, three-quarters of the season's with Westbrook.
Yeah.
Quarter of the season without.
I don't know though. I mean, honestly, I don't want to get into the whole James Harden thing, but it does not look good in retrospect.
Houston is looking great.
But we talked about them a couple episodes before. Who do you have number 1 over there? Do you have a San Antonio or Houston or Memphis?
Number 1 in the West?
No, in that division.
Oh, in that division,
which might be in the West.
It's hopeful, but I'm gonna go Houston.
I had San Antonio, Houston second, Memphis third. But anyway, that's about Denver. Denver, they have the additions of Darrell Arthur, J.J. Hickson, JaVale McGee is now going to be starting after Costa Cubas. Gallinari is probably going to be out a couple months with the ACL surgery. Iguodala's gone. They have new guys of
picked up Nate
Robinson, Randy Foye, which I didn't, and then Brian Shaw's the coach. Look, I'm not a huge fan of first-year coaches. I've seen it. I mean, I watched Miami, Eric Spoelstra. I saw him do it in his first year.
Yeah.
Well,
that's a special case. You kind of have
LeBron
James on
your side. No. Well, when Eric Spoelstra's first year was with Miami. With Wade in his 2009 year. I think he led the league in scoring that year, or it was close. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of first-year coaches. I mean, Brian Shaw has the experience. He's been an assistant for a long time. So that's a good thing for him. I have Denver missing the playoffs. I have them below the 8th seed.
No.
I think Iguodala is too much, and I think it's going to be kind of like one of those cases of he chopped the head off the chicken and it's just going to go crazy. I mean, they lost George Karl, who got them the franchise record in wins that year, and they fired him. So same thing with Memphis, by the way.
I mean, Iguodala's a huge piece, no doubt. You can't refute that. But them missing the playoffs, I mean, their
who's their 2-guard? It's Randy Foye.
Randy Foye. All right. Well, all right. First off, you mentioned that J.J. Hickson will be taking the 5 spot.
No, JaVale's gonna be taking the 5 spot.
Okay. All right.
J.J. Hickson.
Yeah, he's gonna be
back up.
Darrell
Darrell Arthur, though, I like Darrell Arthur for them.
Yeah, but they're so deep.
They are deep.
Their bench, their style of play, they're gonna run up and down the court. They're gonna do it until
I mean, to be fair, we don't know if they're going to. They don't have George Karl anymore. So if they play like that, they have an advantage being in Denver. But
their team is just geared like that.
Yeah.
They
got the speedy. What's his name? Tyler Lawson. Yeah, I have them missing the playoffs. That's just my personal opinion. I mean, What do I know? I'm just a prediction.
I will give you this: the West is hugely improved.
Yeah,
the West is strong.
You got.
In the East.
I mean, look at this is tight. We can tie this into Portland now, real quick. Portland, they're vastly improved, and they're a team that I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs, but they're gonna contend. They could beat you in the Rose Garden, or I don't know, it's not called the Rose Garden anymore. I think they changed the name. They can beat you. If stuff goes well. So
I've just lost all faith in Portland.
Really?
With the squad they've had over the years and what they've done with it.
Look, it hasn't really been fluid. I mean, it hasn't been.
But, I mean, you've got an improved. I mean, you have LaMarcus Aldridge. You've got your. I don't know. They've got pieces.
We'll talk about Portland when we come back. We have to take a break now. We still have Minnesota and Utah to cover, as well as the rest of Portland, so stick around. Welcome back. So as we were just saying with Portland, look, we'll go over who they got. They got Robin Lopez, Mo Williams, Earl Watson, C.J. McCollum, the rookie, who apparently is pretty good.
Okay.
And they only lost, I think, J.J. Hickson was the only. So they're Robin Lopez is I think they were really bad in defensive efficiency, so he's going to protect the rim a little bit.
Yeah.
Mo Williams and Earl Watson, they do play the same position as the what's his name, point guard over there, rookie of the year.
Damian
Lillard, yeah. Yeah, no, Damian Lillard and Mo Williams actually I think are kind of similar player styles. I think he's more of like a hybrid between Crawford and Mo Williams because he does have a little bit of bounce, but he's also got the range.
Yeah.
That's just it's just something that I thought of just now. So, but yeah, I mean, look, I don't have Portland making the playoffs, but I have them as a better team. So like. You have these teams that are much better now than they were before, and I just think that's why I have Denver not making it now. However, you have anything else in Portland? Because if not,
I never have much to say about
Portland. Yeah, I mean, it's hard. Look, it's hard to watch them as being on the East Coast because they come on late and they don't finish until like later 2 in the morning. I mean, I stay up late sometimes, but classics. So anyway, let's talk about Minnesota real quick. Now I got a curveball. I think Minnesota makes the playoffs. I think they take Denver's spot. They got Kevin Martin.
I like
Kevin Martin.
Yep.
And look, the last time Kevin Martin was successful was when he played with Rick Adelman over in Houston, and now he's playing with Rick Adelman again. Minnesota, they lost Kirilenko.
Yeah.
Otherwise, and they lost Chase Budinger to a knee injury. He's out indefinitely, but he'll be back at some point. Yeah, I mean, halfway through at worst.
Yeah.
Rubio, hopefully, we finally see Rubio play really well.
Yeah,
he had flashes.
You've seen the international ball, but
I haven't.
He's playing well for Spain.
I mean, him and the Gasols. I think actually Tony Parker won the MVP of the EuroLeague. So shout out to Tony Parker.
Well done.
Rubio Pekovic. I think that's a good core to build around. Then you have whoever's coming in over on the wings. With they got Derek Williams still.
Yeah.
They got JJ Barea still. They got what's Corey Brewer. They got they got a decent team. Look, I've been saying Minnesota made the playoffs for the last 3 years. And last year they probably would have if not for Rubio.
It's one of those pieces teams.
Yeah,
they just got to put it together.
They just have to get it, and they have. I mean, last year Adelman wouldn't really. He had a death in the family or something like that. So he'll be back to playing a little more, or at least being with the team. Anything else on Minnesota?
That's pretty much it.
I like Minnesota. I don't really know.
Yeah, they're fun to watch.
Yeah. And then lastly we have Utah, who are basically in tank mode. They lost Paul Millsap. They lost Al Jefferson.
Oh my goodness.
Interestingly enough, their backcourt consists of Trey Burke, the rookie, number 10 or number 9 or something, and then Alec Burks, who I forgot all about. I don't know if I've ever seen him play an NBA game. I just thought that was kind of funny. They have got Burke and Burks. It should be like a buddy cop show or something. I don't know, Burke and Burks. B&B. Look. A couple of years ago, I had Enes Kanter as most improved player. I liked what I saw with him.
He's huge.
He's gotten muscular. He's gotten muscular. And if he can just put up like 12 and 12 or something, impact the game. I mean, he's got all the tools and he's got the opportunity.
He has to be a double-double, a solid double.
Oh yeah. And then they have Derek Favors, who was the number 2 pick. He was traded for Darren Williams a few years ago.
He had flashes last year.
Yeah.
He was doing the same.
I mean, the guy is athletic. He's like 6'10".
Yep.
They kind of have they lost a lot of their players. They got a thin roster. They still have Tyrone Corbin, who we don't know if he's any good at this point. But I think they're tanking. I think we're gonna see some improved play from a lot of their younger guys. But I think at the end of the day, they don't really want to win games. They want to get in the draft lottery with all those really good guys.
I don't know about you. I'm sad to see Brandon Roy go.
Yeah.
It's over.
No, Brandon Roy was one of my favorite players for a while. I remember one of my earlier basketball memories. I haven't been following the NBA that long, maybe like 5 or 6 years. But there was a game against Houston, and they were up by. He hit a mid-range jump shot. Rose Garden goes crazy.
Yeah.
There's like maybe 5-8 seconds left. They get the team's got Yao Ming on it. Yao Ming gets his turnaround and one, which he makes, and the crowd's kind of quiet. I think they were up by 1 or maybe 2 at that point.
Yeah.
And then Brenner gets the ball on the side and just makes this 3 from about like 30 feet and just nailed it. And the Rose Guard went crazy. And
it's unfortunate. We're going to see that again.
And now, yeah, Brenner Roy's gone. I mean, I had hopes for his comeback, but it looks like at the end of the day, I mean, he made probably in the range of $30 million. So.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely made his money. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad, but
even last year, you know, he didn't do anything.
Yeah, he made I don't know what 5 or something. Look, it's sad. It's sad to see him, but you know, for us fans, but you know, he's gonna go on and he's gonna
take care of his body.
Yeah, I mean, he's got knee problems pretty bad. Yeah. So, otherwise, anything else we missed? Is there anything you want to talk about? We've got another couple minutes. What we can do?
Can't think of anything incredibly important.
Do you think, so out of this whole group,
yeah.
OKC, Portland, Minnesota, Denver, and Utah, you got Denver and OKC in the playoffs?
Yeah.
And I've got Oklahoma City and Minnesota making the playoffs.
Yeah, as much as I'd like to see Minnesota,
yeah, I mean,
not putting any money on that.
Hey, look, you know, Kevin Love,
as long as he stays off the wood doing those push-ups.
I thought it was knuckles. That he was doing knuckle push-ups.
Knuckle push-ups. That's what he was doing.
Yeah, and Pekovic is a scary guy.
Yeah.
He's probably the most frightening player in the NBA right now.
You could just look at Karolinko and kind of give yourself.
Well, Karolinko's gone. He's in.
Well, as far as just.
He's in the Nets.
Frightening.
He's got. Have you seen that? He's got a huge tattoo of a pterodactyl.
It's great.
On his back.
It's great.
I remember seeing it.
It is his whole back.
In the
a little bit,
yeah. You can see it coming out of the sleeves.
Yeah.
I remember it was in the Olympics when I first saw it, and I was like, "Is that Karolinko?" And that's like, I've seen pictures of it, but yeah.
That's the man right there.
So I don't know if we're gonna have you. We're gonna try to get more guests on here more frequently. But if we don't have you on again, who do you? And we're gonna have. Who do you have at the beginning of the season as the finals prediction? What do you have that? Or how about this? You can do
prediction.
Eastern Conference. Who gets to the Eastern Conference Finals, and then who gets to the finals?
I'm saying, in the East, that was a tough choice. I don't really like Indiana too much, but they're going to the Eastern Finals.
You think so?
They're scary.
Yeah.
They're scary.
They improved their bench.
And they're just getting better, you know.
They definitely improved their bench.
Yeah. And then you got to go with the East.
But hey, look. But we've talked about this before on here.
Yeah.
Indiana looked good.
Yeah.
But they took Atlanta to like 7 games. And Atlanta wasn't that good. So I think there's a possibility for them to get they can get upset early on, because I don't know if their style fits against everybody quite the way that it fit against Miami.
But I mean, the experience, you know,
yeah,
like Paul
true.
George, he's their center now. He's their focus. Danny Granger, still waiting.
We'll see what happens. They trade him, or they can keep him.
Roy, as long as he stays, you know, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Do
hey, look, Roy Hibbert. I mean, it was the big thing with him was that he didn't foul out. That was his major accomplishment.
And he didn't get posterized.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done, Roy.
So who do you have in the West?
West, man, that's tough. I'm gonna have to go. I'm just gonna go wild card. I'm gonna go Houston. Houston, and old time's sake, San Antonio.
Okay,
once again.
And who wins there? Do we have a rematch? Miami, San Antonio.
Miami, San Antonio.
Really? Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I don't know if I have a prediction yet.
This is the first time I've even.
And who do you have winning? Do you have Miami winning again, maybe?
3-peat. You gotta go 3-peat.
Yeah, I want a 3-peat too.
I want to see history be made.
Personally, yeah. Okay, so with that, join us next week. Raj might be back. We might have another guest host. Wouldn't that be interesting? So, anyway, I usually say go Hokies, and Raj says gobble gobble. But you can.
Can I just not do that?
Okay. All right. Well, go Hokies.